Woo! What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday, or as I like to call it, new comic book day. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's recovered from the damn Super Bowl, or as I'm calling it, the Moon Knight slash Doctor Strange weekend. It was a crazy weekend. A lot of spec, a lot of books spiking. Well, like maybe 3 or 4. Just because of the trailer, and it's crazy. I still haven't seen that, 1,675 Easter eggs that I missed from the trailer. One thing I do know is that people got crazy this weekend, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So welcome to the Newbieverse After Hours show, co-hosted by Comic Kingpins, of course. Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern time. You know where to go. Comic Kingpins. Speaking of Comic Kingpins, I'm going to be joined by 2 of them tonight, so let's bring them out. First up, Face. What's going on, man?
What's going on, bro? Good to be back.
Oh, yeah, dude. New comic book day. To be honest, man, I've been so focused on FOC stuff, I totally forgot. I don't even know what comes out tomorrow, and the fact that we didn't have a show on Sunday because of Super Bowl, like, I'm totally lost at if I have, like, what I have, what I need to go get. Like, I'm just so lost on new comic book day. Like,
I know, right? It's throwing everything off.
Yeah, it just threw me off, man. So hopefully I got everything I needed, but we'll see. You enjoy the Super Bowl?
Yeah, man. It was actually it was one of the better Super Bowls of the last few years, because I mean, it kind of hit all the way around. It was a good game, good halftime show, got some good, new trailers. So can't complain about it.
Did you enjoy which trailer did you enjoy more? Moon Knight or the Doctor Strange?
Man. Damn, that's tough.
What? Are you serious?
Probably. Well, see, it is, because like the Doctor Strange thing is great and all that, and there's a lot there to unpack. But it's a movie, and then we get the movie and it's done. Where at least with Moon Knight, it's a series, so we got like a month and a half, 2 months of being able to watch it. So.
Oh my God! All right,
well,
that's gonna be a big topic of tonight. Obviously, this being the After Hours show, we have a few topics that we're gonna be talking about, but usually we leave it up all to the chat. So whatever the chat wants to talk about, we usually do. I usually kick it off with 1 or 2 topics that kind of we need to talk about, and those 2 are definitely gonna be talking about. Hyper is gonna be joining us. Spoiler, he's gonna be a few minutes late. So he's going to be joining us. So then the conversation will really kick off.
But going to be late? Imagine that.
Yeah, I know. Go figure, man. Go figure.
Right.
So yeah, let's get the show started, man. Dude, I think it's just because we didn't do a show on Sunday. I'm eager to go. I was feeling a little like tired this afternoon after work, and then I was like, you know what? This is going to get me going. This is going to get the the blood going, the flow, everything, talking comics. I do have to say one thing, Face, and I see Who Dat Comics in here, so I just have to say one thing, okay? One thing.
What's he even doing here?
Today's price is not today's price.
I mean, if Fat Joe is telling you that, that's law. But anyway, yeah, we could talk about that a little bit later. I got myself caught in something, but hey, man enough, I posted it, I did it, whatever. I fixed the situation. That's all that matters. We're moving on. So if you're here for some negativity, you're not going to get it. It's just, let's talk comics. Face, let's kick it off, man. I'm going to say hello to the chat, and then we are going to kick it off with your choice, Moon Knight or Doctor Strange. As I'm saying hello to everybody, you decide, flip a coin, pick a number, whatever the case may be. You're going to start the topic, whether we're talking Doctor Strange. I was going to say Dr. Moon, but that's not right. Doctor Strange, or we're talking Moon Knight.
No, definitely not right.
Dr. Moon. God, I'm creating shit all over the world. Dan Dilatori, the reigning heavyweight champion. Dan, happy belated birthday, sir. I was working super late, but yeah, congratulations on your win on Friday on Tony Sanders' show. That means you and I are an exclusive company, because I also have won the heavyweight championship on that show. Tony is a great guest. If you guys don't know that channel,
right?
yeah, oh yeah, and Hyper's not.
Yeah, Who Who that won the
Who
heavyweight
dat?
champion
Yeah,
over
who
there?
dat? So yeah, there's a few champions in here, but if you haven't checked it out, make sure you guys go do because Tony Sanders puts on a great show. It is fun as hell. Wesley, what's going on, man? Slide in for the
When we get
bronze.
Hyper in here, you guys can form a faction.
Oh, jeez.
You can build like an NWO for his show or something like that.
Oh God, I'm not a bad boy, man. I think everybody thinks I'm this bad boy. I'm not. I'm just a regular guy, nice guy. Wesley, I'm seeing you with the silver, man. I'm seeing you with the silver here. Michael taking the bronze. What's going on, sir? How you doing? This newbie guy's taking the NFT medal. Woo! What's going on, fellow Canadian? Serge, what's happening, man? Thank you for joining us, Miguel. What's going on? How's everybody else been doing today? I'm sorry I haven't been on the last 2.5 weeks. I've been through hell of a week. People at my work trying to work. Yeah, dude. That is the story of my life. Face, I think, you've been working like a dog yourself. So, yeah, there's a lot of it. Sam Rock, what's going on, man? Fellow Canadian, what's going on, dude? Empire Comics in the house. Yo, I'm going to be honest with you guys. There is a rumor that Empire Comics is going to be joining the Newbieverse very soon. So, stay tuned. But
shit.
I don't know. It's a rumor. Look, I went to the restaurant the other day. I went in the washroom. Somebody was like, "Hey, man, in the stall it says that you you do a YouTube channel, and and I was like, yeah. And then someone was like, "Yo, Empire Comics, I heard is going to be on your show." And I was like, "Oh shit, I don't know, man. Maybe." So we'll see. But Empire, what's going on, man? Uncanny Swag, what's happening, sir? Dude, it's crazy. It's like that Eminem video where he's in the washroom and then all the people come to talk to him. It's like, hey, what's up? Southpaw Brad, what's going on, man? How you doing, man? Philly Born, what's going on, sir? Hard Knocks Comics or Collectible, sorry. RP's in the house. Swaggle House, man. 10K subscribers, man. Congratulations, dude. Crazy on your run, man. Privileged to call you an amigo.
Congrats.
So yeah, man, congrats. We're definitely gonna be talking about Doctor Strange.
That's a big milestone.
Yeah. What's going on? Who dat? Nowhere Bound. What's going on? Newbie, I know you're all in on that being superior Iron Man and Doctor Strange trailer and not a Captain Marvel. No. Listen. When we start talking about this, you guys are gonna be shocked at what I'm about to say. Okay. Because I've kept the same answer throughout this whole thing. Okay. So I really hope we talk about Doctor Strange first because I've got a lot to say about that. I got a lot to say about
I feel
that.
like it might come up.
Woo. What's going on? You're a scammer. Greed is good sometimes, okay? Listen, Justin, I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
I mean, if a millionaire is yelling at me, I have to listen. So I don't know. Streetside Anthony, what's going on, man? How you doing, sir? Thank you so much for tuning in. North 49. Yes, sir. RP Surge. Yeah. So let's get it going, man. You guys know how we do. You come in, you drop a line, I give you a shout out. I like to think I'm pretty good with what everybody's channel and things are going. So I usually give a shout out, but I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Yeah, collectible evening, y'all. Quick hi before I start Hawkeye bid. Hey, good show. Actually, I just had a buddy who was like hating on the Hawkeye show, and I was like, "Hey, did you finish it?" And he was like, "No, man." And I was like, "How can you hate it if you haven't finished it? That's impossible." He's not into Marvel, he's not into comics, but he was literally telling me, he's like, "Man, this show shit, blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "But you didn't finish it. You just watched one episode." So I just don't understand how you hate it. Right? I don't know. It is what it is, man. Swag, yes. And Swag, I do got to get you back on the Newbieverse. Man, you're a lot of fun, and we've only been, in the Newbieverse twice, so let's get it happening. But congratulations to your channel and all the success. Hopefully, by the end of the year, you're at 20 or 30K, and who knows? Maybe one day I meet you and you can take a picture with me. Big YouTuber to little YouTuber. We use that Fat Joe video in our auctions. That's true. Wait, you do a YouTube channel? That's right. Mm-hmm. Dale of Suspense. What's going on, man? How you doing, brother? Dale is probably the only other person I know who likes Iron Man just as much as me. Like, I think it's just me and him. Anything Iron Man related, I see or I find, I always think, would Dale want this? So what's going on, man? Thanks for joining.
22 Comics is an Iron Man fan too. So there's at least 3 of y'all.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
That's crazy. Whoever
really gets Tails to spend 39 wins this race. Okay, that's how I'm doing it. Just that's how it's gonna be.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So, Jess Cruz, my guy, what's going on, man? All right. Before we start the show, Lars Morales. What's going on, Lars Morales? Yo, that's a good name. I like that one, and like Weed. Like I like Weed Richards. I like those ones, man. That's creative, man. But thank you so much for tuning in.
Right.
All right. Before we start the show, let's bring out the next guest, my guy, Hyper. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Tell me more about these random strangers that visit you at the urinals while they ask you about your potential guests for your show.
You know, it's just like an Eminem video. You know, I go out there and you know, like I'm wearing a jacket that says Newbie Comics. I got a hat on that says Newbie Comics. My ringtone every time somebody texts me says, I have a YouTube channel. It's Newbie Comics, right? So like a lot of people are kind of just curious, right? So when I go to the washroom or I go, you know, people are like, hey, what's up? You know, do you do comics? I'm like, what? No.
How often do you spend time in the washroom?
Usually, just before I leave.
40% of the
day. That's a rhetorical question. I wasn't actually expecting you to answer that.
Usually before I leave, you know, just take a piss and, you know, off you go. But hi,
good
man.
To know.
Thanks
good
for
to
joining
know.
us tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man. Let's. It's been a while since we did. What do you call these? The after mint. What is it called?
Just the after hours. Just the after hours. Yeah. Not. Yeah. So yeah, let's get down to it. I think Face, you know, I left you in charge of, you know, what you wanted to talk about first, whether it be Moon Knight or Doctor Strange, but I think the chat.
Oh, no. Wait. We didn't ask what I, would want to.
I asked you. First. I said you pick, but the chat is going a little crazy.
What I was personally more excited about.
No, I said, hey, as I'm saying hello, you decide what you want to start the show with, Moon Knight or Doctor Strange. That's what I said.
Choose your adventure.
Yeah, you'd have to go with Doctor Strange, of course.
All right, well, let's start with Doctor Strange. Who wants to kick it off? Hype, you want to kick it off? What are your thoughts on Doctor Strange, man? A lot of noise with the Illuminati, a lot of noise with Superior Iron Man, a lot of noise with anything that has to do with Tom Cruise. What are your thoughts, man? The trailer, everything. Let me know.
First off, I'm still trying to figure out where Tom Cruise is in the trailer.
Yo, he's Superior Iron Man.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Okay. Let's hit the nail on the head with this Superior Iron Man thing. I mean, clearly that's the book that is one of the books that's been taking quite a bit of a surge after that trailer. I don't know. Listen, I don't own any copies. All I'm saying is for the people that do own it, you may want to sell now because I just don't see that value sustaining for a while. We're going off of these like snippets of a trailer that it's not even confirmed if that is Superior Iron Man. And even when people try to do these still frames, I'm looking at these, these frame by frames, and I'm having a hard time. I mean, I get it. I know that Superior Iron Man has that power up that has that whole thing where he kind of, lights up and all that. But still, I'll be honest. When I saw that at first, I thought the features kind of look like Jonathan Major at first. When I saw it.
Yeah, okay.
So I could it be a Kang variant? I don't know. I know some people threw out that it could be possibly Monica Rambeau or Maria Rambeau. And it kind of fits more into the storyline because with Wanda being there and all that. So but the whole Superior, honestly, I'm surprised that the book had reached the numbers it reached, considering that book was for the longest time a back bin, find.
Face, what are your thoughts, man?
I mean, Hard Knocks kind of hit the nail on the head, sort of right there with it. The thing is, because even let's assume for the second best case scenario, and it is Tom Cruise, and he is playing, some version of Iron Man that turns out to be Superior Iron Man, and that book hits completely. More than likely, it's still probably a one-off. I mean, Tom Cruise is no younger than RDJ, so he's not going to have any more longevity for playing the part. If they were going to essentially recast Iron Man in the Marvel Universe at some point, at any point in time. It would obviously probably be with someone younger, I would think, so that they would get some more longevity out of them, which I don't see them doing that anytime soon either. So more than likely, if it is him at all, it's still just a one-off, so it'll be cool. Definitely be cool. If you're a seller, now is your fucking moment because you're probably not going to get better prices on it, for that. So
I heard the book. Somebody messaged me saying the book,
if you're a buyer now, is not stopping.
Is back down money. Like yesterday it was up, today it's back down.
You know why? Because it's economics, because that book is not in short supply, and as soon as people saw those high figures, they started putting up their copies on eBay, and inevitably people start undercutting each other. It's gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly thought it would have been a bit more time before we saw that happening. I didn't expect the prices to go down like the day after, but yeah, I mean, it's a #1 issue from a Marvel Now series that was readily available. So yeah, inevitably it's gonna start flooding the market when people start seeing the prices. So yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave this
Blue
comment
Marvel
right
could
here.
be a good series. Yeah,
Blue Marvel.
I like it.
I just wanna
I would love for it to be Blue Marvel.
I just want to remind everybody. I said, and I'm not taking credit for it. Like, I told a few people, I was like, listen, I think it's one of two people. My first thought was Spectrum. It's Spectrum. It's her. She's in the suit. And people are like, well, the hair, or it looks like a male. And I go, you know what? They could just be teasing you or something. And then as the, still images came and pictures came, you obviously saw that it wasn't Superior Iron Man. And you could tell, just like Face said, or just like Hype said, it looked like Jonathan Majors. I thought Jonathan Majors, and then I thought, what if it's Blue Marvel? Like, he has some history, obviously, being a Marvel character, but he has some history with Spectrum. We still don't know who Spectrum was calling in WandaVision. Remember, she has a friend. I forget what he does, but remember, and everybody during WandaVision had said, oh, maybe that's Reed Richards. I didn't really think that. I thought all along it was Blue Marvel. So, I mean, it's not out of the realm just because they did plant that seed. If everybody goes back to the videos when WandaVision was going on, I mean, there was a lot of people specking on Blue Marvel. So it is possible the dots connect, right? And that's kind of, something that I like to do is connect the dots. Just because it didn't work at first doesn't mean necessarily it's not going to work now. But those are my two picks. I think it's either Blue Marvel or Spectrum. I do like your pick of Jonathan Majors. I really do.
The only thing about Blue Marvel, because I'll admit I don't know. I'm starting to learn a bit about Blue Marvel, but I'm not like an expert on the character. But I know that one of my buddies, Bricks the Iron Geek, he mentioned how he doesn't think it's Blue Marvel because I think I guess he followed the character. He doesn't think that power set actually belongs to Blue Marvel, like what was shown in the trailer. So that's why he has his doubts that it could be Blue Marvel in that regard.
Yeah. Who that is saying, think we get Defenders with Defender Doctor Strange. I do, because if you remember like the first little trailer or teaser, they did have him with like the ponytail and like the goatee with like so like I do think we're gonna get Defenders. Now again, here's the thing though that I think a lot of people are forgetting, and I don't want to be that guy or that person. But you gotta remember too, like, okay, maybe we get little seconds of certain characters, but it's not gonna be long. Like they can't fit, 200 characters. Like they're trying to close some things up. They're trying to connect certain universes and characters. So like, I think we have to remember that just because it could be that we saw that Defenders Doctor Strange, like it could be just for like 5 seconds and that's it kind of thing. I think people sometimes just think, oh, it's going to be Doctor Strange, Defender. He's going to be in the movie, right? Like it doesn't necessarily have to work that way. And I think some people have to just remember that because it is possible.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I've noticed though that Marvel doesn't usually, I mean, aside from the Avengers, you might have team ups and all that, but they might not call them those specific names that you see in the comics. Mm-hmm. That's why I kind of made the point that sometimes you might get like the champions forming, but they might not call them the champions.
Well, we've said the same thing, Hype, and I think you were kind of on my side with this, but like even with the Thunderbolts, right? like that Hulk 449 book. We've talked about that many times, where I think the money book for those is going to be the individual characters, not necessarily the team of Thunderbolts, right?
Yeah, and okay, speaking of Thunderbolts, like people were saying at one point that maybe we might get Dark Avengers. I personally don't think that Marvel's going to reuse the name Avengers for another team up. They might call them something else. So it could be Thunderbolts instead of Dark Avengers. But yeah, I mean, we might get a form of Defenders, but it's just that there's different versions of Defenders. Like you also have like the Netflix versions of the Defenders that that did have its own comic series that was Daredevil, what's her name, Jessica Jones, I'm blanking on the other two, Iron Fist and Luke Cage. So we had different forms of Defenders. Which form we're gonna get, not sure.
Feel like there still will be a Tony Stark variant. Where else would the Ultron bots come from? So that's the other part, right? The robots, I think the robots were the first thing that led everybody to thinking it was Superior Iron Man, plus the rumors of Tom Cruise, and then people just thinking that still image was Superior Iron Man until you get that close up, right? What are your thoughts on the bots, guys? Face, what do you think?
Well, if they're doing any kind of, I don't know, sort of crossover tie-in or correlation or whatever with the What If series, given that you've got that evil Doctor Strange showing up there, maybe something having to do with Ultron from that series too, I think is one of the bigger theories that's been going around. So other than that, I'm not really sure. It's hard to say what to make of those guys. That's really a theory that I think that I've heard on those so far, and I mean, I don't know. Other than that, yeah, I don't even have any guesses on that.
Okay. No guesses on that. Can I get your honest opinion about the Illuminati? Is that the Illuminati? Are people overreacting just because there's X amount of chairs? Do we think that that's happening in your opinion? Do you think the Illuminati is coming? Because again, it could just be a little teaser. In my experience with Marvel, sometimes you watch the trailer and it's not necessarily what it is, right? And I think that that's a beauty of it, where other places, DC, basically give you like 3/4 of the movie in their trailer, right? I had to go back and watch it, like not the whole trailer, but I had to rewind during the Super Bowl, that part where it seems like it's Patrick Stewart saying, and I say seems because we don't, like, they could just throw that in there, right? Like they could just be fucking, but they threw that in there, and I had to think about it. I was like, man, that is his voice. But who's to say? Like, I mean, he's up there in age. Is that the Professor X that's going to be around? Is this the Illuminati? Just like, there was a comment, like maybe it's an evil Illuminati. Like with the multiverse, everything is wide open. And I think that's what makes it beautiful, is the fact that we can have conversations like this, because every character, any group, any possibility is on the table, because it's multiverse, right? What are your thoughts?
Listen, I'll just say this. If Marvel taught us anything, don't put all your eggs in one basket in terms of thinking that the group is going to come in the way that you expect it to come. TVA, like everyone was banking on the TVA, and look what happened in Loki.
It's $1 book now. It's I think it's like a 50-cent book.
But I mean, like in terms of the revelation of what the TVA turned out to be, right? So it's just that in terms of like, those chair placements and all that, it does strongly lead to the fact that it possibly could be Illuminati. And and that distinct voice, I personally think is, and I think there were sources that actually did confirm that it was Patrick Stewart. I have to go back on it, but I think it's been confirmed that it was Patrick Stewart that did do the voice.
He's like what? And I'm not, it's not ageism or anything like that, but like he's up there in his 70s, I think, right?
I would think so, because I mean he's been doing, like, he was Captain Picard when I was like in grade school. So
yeah, exactly. So my thing is this.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I don't think, and I could be proven wrong. I mean, Samuel Jackson's in his 70s too, and he's still doing the role. But like, if you start connecting the dots and listening to some rumors and things like that, I mean, Abigail Brand is just around the corner. Who knows if she takes over for him, right? But I just have a hard time believing that we're going to kick off this next phase. I mean, I know it's already started, but we're going to kick off X-Men, or we're going to kick off, the Illuminati, this and that. And we're going to have Patrick Stewart as our Professor X, with the fact that he's that old. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just have a hard time just because of
they kill off Professor X all the time. So
yeah, I just,
it's one of those.
I don't know. Somebody was telling me new, but listen, it's the multiverse. So like they could kill this one off, and then like another version of that one comes in. But I just think that you're gonna get you're not gonna create that that relationship with like the viewer and the fan if you're gonna have like 8 different Professor X's, happening throughout like certain movies, right? And I think that that's something that a lot of people aren't talking about, is that could happen, right? If you're killing off people, and I get why they could do it, and with the Chadwick Boseman thing, but like, I don't know, I would hate to see like 3 X-Men movies and have 3 different Professor X's, and them being like, hey, no, this is a Professor X from this verse, or like this is a variant of this, like, I just think that would be a little bit weird. So I don't know.
It's kind of, if they did something like that, I think it's almost going to set people up for a disappointment. It's almost like, okay, here's the original Professor X, but don't get too attached to him, because we're going to give you a more watered down Professor X later on.
Yeah,
it's just like, I feel like if you're gonna
it'd be really shitty if they did that with like it'd be really shitty if they did that with like a big character, right? Like the Hulk or something. If they maybe
it's like
that would suck. You guys would hate it, wouldn't you?
I would. The only thing that
would you give up the MCU? Would you give up the MCU?
Wait, for Hulk? Wait, did you say the character the Hulk?
Yeah, sure.
Face?
Because the point is they already recast the Hulk in the MCU, and you guys were completely okay with it. Like, you don't even fucking remember it.
No, but that's different. That's different.
Hold on. Time out. I will go on record and say that I thought Edward Norton
There's going to be
better
recasting.
Hulk than...
It's going to happen.
But my point is just like, if you're going to introduce a new Professor X, it's like, why would you shoehorn in the old Professor X just to kind of, it's almost like you're kind of like stacking the odds against the new Professor X in terms of expectation. I find that's my thing. It's like, it's almost like it's better, like, let the past be the past, and if you have a new direction with the mutants and all that, with new casting, let them do their thing, but don't start bringing in the older cast members from like the Fox X-Men, because I feel it's just you're gonna steal a bit of the thunder, and it's almost gonna cause a bit of this wishful thinking from the fans, hoping that the older ones would stick around.
And correction, Patrick Stewart is 81. He's 81. So
he's
like,
still out there killing
and listen, nothing against Patrick Stewart. If anyone's related to Patrick Stewart, please don't take this as a hate crime. I'm not against the man. I'm just saying, X-Men, and I hope the panel, I hope the chat, I hope anybody watching this live, rewind 20 years from now understands. Would you guys agree, just really quickly, right before I go on my little rant, X-Men is a big deal, right? X-Men is a big deal.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure, says the guy whose favorite character is Wolverine. Okay. I'm just saying, X-Men is going to be kicking off. It's going to be massive. It's going to be big. A lot of us, if you're 30 to 38, like that was your cartoon growing up, it's going to be massive. I don't think that they would use Patrick Stewart as the main Professor X, is all I'm saying. So even though I was excited for the fact that it was his voice, even though it was exciting to see that he was cast, I guess, in like, what's it called? The IMBD or whatever the fuck it's called. The casting things. It's cool.
He's gonna mess around and go to the wrong website.
Yeah, this isn't the right X-Men. But like, what I'm saying is, I do think that it could be a variant or a different multiverse of like Illuminati. So like, I don't know if people should get their hopes up. I want to see Illuminati. If anybody who knows me knows, I'm a big Black Bolt fan. I'm a big Fantastic Four fan. So Reed Richards, all that stuff, they're part of it. So like, I want to see them. It's just, I'm a little hesitant on like going all in on this Illuminati thing, just simply because I don't think that Patrick Stewart is going to lead the X-Men or anything. So for that, I think it's going to be a variant. It's going to take part in the movie. Obviously, it's going to be a critical part. I just don't think it's going to be the big thing. I think people are very quick to forget. It's going to be like Wanda and Doctor Strange. I think that's going to be where, you know, everything go, or the evil Doctor Strange as well. I think that's where the big battle in most of the movie is going to be.
Yeah, and actually, okay, speaking about Black Bolt, my thing regarding Black Bolt, I know some people brought it up in the chat. I just feel that, okay, look, even if we do get some form of Illuminati, I don't think we're gonna get the complete, like, full fleshed out version of the Illuminati in the Strange movie, just because there's certain characters I feel you kind of have to promote them before them, especially when their on-screen debut comes. Like, I know people are gonna bring up the previous Spider-Man movie where they kind of kept a lot of characters in the dark before they introduced them, but those characters were already had a bit of a screen presence, like Charlie Cox Daredevil. And, you know, obviously, I think it was the worst kept secret with the other two Spider-Mans that you know, people knew that they were coming. But there's certain characters like Black Bolt and all that didn't make their proper. I'm not talking about characters from like the Fox shows, like the New Mutants and all that, but I'm talking about their proper MCU debut. They need a bit of a marketing hype to kind of, so that people know. It's almost like if you shoehorn the Guardians of the Galaxy in a movie without properly introducing them to the fans, some casuals might not know who the hell they are. So that's why I have my doubts that all the members of the Illuminati will be present in the Strange movie. And listen, regarding Patrick Stewart, my fear is
too, with it being Patrick Stewart showing up. Someone said it in chat earlier. It could be, you know, something as simple as sort of like a variant that they're, you know, using to sort of give the Fox X-Men movies their final send off. You know.
Yeah, that was Swag.
Swag
said that. Yeah.
Well, look,
and then let it die after that.
I'm just worried that with some of the miscastings we got, I'm just worried that we're gonna see Patrick Stewart in one moment, and then later on we're gonna see Topher Grace as a new Patrick Stewart in a wheelchair.
Topher Grace?
Listen, he was Venom, so who's to say?
Where would you go? Why?
I don't know why I put that out into the atmosphere.
Topher Grace would be your pick for Professor.
No, I didn't say he would be my pick. It's my fear that we'll get something like a Topher Grace in a wheelchair.
You were the only person that came up with that name.
you know what's funny is I watched oh fuck, I forget the name. You know that movie with Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn when they were. No. It's the one where they have to like go back to school or whatever, and then the kids. No. And the kids are like, "Yo, go find this professor. He's in a wheelchair." And then he's like, "Oh, okay." And then the guy's like,
"Oh,
yeah." His name is Charles Xavier.
I saw that in the trailer. I forgot the movie's name though.
I forget the movie too. But then they see the guy, and then Owen Wilson's like, he's like beating the shit out of them, and he's like, "Professor X, we need your help." Yo, I don't know why.
I do remember that moment, but I can't remember the title of the movie though. But I
know. Fuck! I gotta find the movie. We just watched it not too long ago. But fuck, dude, it is fucking. When that part happens, I fucking died laughing. My wife's just like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Oh, that's hilarious. Like, that is fucking hilarious."
The internship. I'm seeing that as
the interns. That's what it is. I think that's what it is. X-Men is a huge deal. Come on, be serious. It will still be a cameo of Professor X with Stewart playing him. Yeah. I just think it's going to be more of a nod or just a different, you know, I really do think that this movie is just going to close a lot of those. And like, because when you have the conversations, right? Like at some point, Marvel did need to like close everything or like kind of put everything together. And I think that's just going to be like one of those nods to everything or close certain universes and things like that. I really do. I'm not against, you know, Patrick Stewart being it. I just have a hard time believing that this is going to be the Professor X they're going with long term. Therefore, I think that the Illuminati thing might just be a short-lived thing. For now, down the road, 100%, it could come back. I just think right now, there's a lot of moving pieces here.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it's a cameo, I would say, you know, just for the sake of whatever the future cast that are going to be playing in as mutants, let it simmer a bit. Don't shoehorn the mutants right after that. Just let those cameos kind of simmer down and then introduce your new wave of, X-Men for the MCU.
Patrick Stewart will not play Professor X in the MCU. X-Men, he exactly 100%.
Now, Patrick Stewart.
Now
we're gonna find out he's a fucking wizard for real.
Yeah. Now, aside from the Illuminati, aside from Superior Iron Man, there was another thing that was very up in the air that a lot of people were like, oh my God. And it is the conversation between Wanda or Dark Scarlet, because she does have the, the old school thing, but like it is more of a dark scene. But she does make the conversation and she does say, when you do it, it's fine. When I do it, I'm the enemy. That to me spoke so much. I thought that was something that a lot of people weren't really talking about. Even now, like you're not really seeing a lot of people talking about it or even referencing it. But I do think that that's a big deal. The fact that she said that, I think that's kind of either kicks off the climax of the movie or that's going to be near the end of the movie, which kind of leaves you on a cliffhanger. What are your thoughts? Dark Scarlet, is Wanda the big ass villain? Like, what are your thoughts here? Because it's still not known who the big villain is, because they literally showed like 4 possibilities of villains or ways that this thing could like go, right?
I don't think she's going to be the big villain. I think she's going to be more of a roadblock.
Yeah.
In terms of stuff that Strange will have to fix along the way, but because inevitably she's already on the verge of after the end of WandaVision, she's kind of already on the deep end. So this movie will probably just kind of push her further and further, especially with all the chaos happening around. It's going to be too much to handle, and plus she's still studying the dark arts. It's not like she's an expert at it, so it's just I don't see her as being the big bad. I just see her just being more of a major nuisance, if anything.
Face, what are your thoughts, man?
I mean, she's not wrong. Yeah, she's not wrong in what she's saying for sure. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that, because she definitely has a valid argument. I don't, as far as being the big villain, I don't know, man. It would be interesting to see them go that route, and how they would kind of, I don't necessarily want to say pull back on it later, but maybe sort of change it up a little bit, because ultimately, obviously, she's not going to always stay a villain if they did go that route for this movie. She may have an antagonistic role and then turn and help Doctor Strange at some point. I think that might be the more likely possibility. But it's just hard to say, because like you said, they've shown several possibilities already for who the villain could be. You got Shuma Gorath, Gargantos or whatever. Mordo shows up there. Scarlet Witch. There's theories about Sidorak potentially showing up. There's all kinds of crazy shit.
Are we back, man? Are we back to like Spider-Man stuff where anybody and everybody's going to be in this movie, though? The movie comes out in May, right? So I know people like to think that it's very far away, but I mean, we're 2 weeks away from March. It's literally like 2.5 months away. Let's say 3 months from this movie. Like, this time is going to fly by when we have Moon Knight. I mean, nobody's really going to be talking about Doctor Strange. I'm going to be honest with you guys. You don't have to agree, but like that's just the way our community and us collectors work. Once Moon Knight hits in a month, all we're going to be talking about is Moon Knight. That's it. We're going to forget about Doctor Strange stuff. It's not even going to be relevant for a little bit. I can guarantee you most, if not 75% of every Hot 10 list is going to be Moon Knight related. That's just how it's going to go. But I think this Doctor Strange movie is going to be crazy. If you were expecting, Spider-Man to be crazy, I think this one's going to be very crazy. Just look at everything that's already happened now with like Superior Iron Man, Spectrum, maybe Blue Marvel, the Illuminati. Like it's just crazy, man. I personally think people shouldn't sleep on Dark Scarlet. I don't think people should sleep on that character. I've heard people say, hey man, I think she's going to die. I think she's going to sacrifice herself. I think she's going to kill everybody. We'll see. I don't know. What are your thoughts, though, gentlemen, on the Captain Carter, the Deadpool? You know, now more and more, you know, images are slated. You know, you have the Deadpool, like and then the Captain Carter shield. You know, you guys buying into that? Is that like a teaser? Is that a big middle finger from Marvel? What do you guys think?
No, it's not really a middle finger or anything like that. But I mean, look, if any character that that you could easily insert into one of these like multiversal movies that doesn't have much of a ramification would be Deadpool, just because he always breaks the fourth wall to begin with. So
Yeah,
it's almost kind of fitting to have him shoehorn in just almost like as a funny Easter egg. So yeah, look, if Deadpool appears, I don't think it's really much to write home about, to be honest. It's not like seeing Deadpool in a movie like this is not going to lead to major ramifications, put it that way. But
you never know. I mean, again, if they do something along the lines of, you know, bringing up Scarlet as like a Nexus being and using that to sort of merge universes, I mean, it's a potential way that they could use it to sort of seamlessly merge mutants in as having already existed and kind of get away with it a little bit. It's not maybe the best idea, but a lot of theories seem to think they might go that route. Personally, I hope that's not the route they go with, but if they do, I don't know. I guess it could work.
and I mean, I do agree with Swaggerhouse because I don't think it would be a case where like this movie's the end of Wanda. I almost said Wanda Sykes for some reason. I don't know why. Because the thing is, usually with Marvel, especially with their heroes, they want to make sure that they have a redeeming arc. And like Swag mentions, most of her storylines, she ends up usually on the short end of the stick. I mean, except for Endgame, but Endgame, that was like a team effort. It wasn't really just her defeating Thanos. But when it's usually a Scarlet Witch-centric story, she's always usually on the short end of it. So it's almost like she's due for a W at some point. So I just don't see her. I don't see this movie being the defining moment where she's. I mean, she will probably turn as the Dark Scarlet, but I don't see that being a permanent fix, which is not the case in the comics either. So
they've also only killed off like legacy characters, right? Like Iron Man for the greater good, Black Widow for the greater good, but they've been OGs, right? They've been around since 2008, 2009, right? Like obviously Robert Downey Jr. 07, Scarlett Johansson in 09, right? But like they are the OGs. They're legacy characters. I don't necessarily, and nothing against, you know, if you're a Scarlet Witch, whatever, like if that's your character, great. I'm not throwing shade at her. I'm just saying we've only seen Marvel kind of kill off like these legacy characters. I don't think that they would kill her off, especially knowing that, you know, we still got White Vision out there. There's going to be a season 2 possibly of her show. So like, it just doesn't make sense to me that they would kill her off.
Right? But see, the thing is, those deaths that you mentioned, Newbie, all those characters, they pretty much completed their personal story arc. Like, you know, Iron Man kind of sacrificed himself for the greater good. And it doesn't get, like, you can't write a better ending for Iron Man, in my opinion. He kind of went off, you know, in a heroic note. And same thing with what's her name, Black Widow.
Yeah,
she, you know, sacrificed herself so that Clint can get the Soul Stone. So it wasn't just meaningless deaths. Like they had a purpose in the MCU. So it's just it would be hard for me to think that Wanda's, like, if anything, I just feel like there's more to Wanda's story than the second Doctor Strange movie. It's just that there's more to be developed with this character.
Yeah. Bronze Age nerd. I think a lot of lottery tickets will pay off for Doctor Strange, but a ton of people are going to lose money on these books. Spread too thin with little evidence. Dude, I think we see that not even just in this movie or in this trailer. I think we've seen this for the past 18 months or since COVID started, right? Like we get a little bit of something. People jump. Again, we started off the show talking about, you know, Superior Iron Man. It was $1 book for the longest time. Yesterday, for whatever the case may be, raw books were going for $60. People went nuts for it, and now today it's dropped down because of those still images. Now people are saying, "Oh wait, it's not him. We moved too quickly. We jumped too fast." I mean, I don't say we. Being an Iron Man fan, I had that book regardless, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of people do jump too quickly, and sometimes it's a shame because a lot of people are going to lose money, especially if they're just in it for the money, right? So I don't know, it's tough. Don't forget Baron Mordo at the end of the first movie where he is taking away magic from people. Yep, that's also true. I see, that's the thing. There's going to be so much going on that I don't. Yeah.
It's funny. Not a lot of people talk about that character as much because everyone's focused on these other characters.
There's a lot in this fucking movie.
We forgot that whole end
just
credit
the stuff
scene.
that we know.
Yeah.
Listen, can I say something to just? I just want to say something. First off, big shout outs to King Golden State, one of the best collectors, hunters out there, man. He always pushes me to like go and find shit. Like I love when this guy posts it. Him and Justin Nemesis Prime, I love them because they post shit that they find, and then it just pushes me to go out and call in sick or take a longer lunch break to go hunt, man. So big shout outs to you. But I
put that out there though.
I 100% agree with this character. And guys, everybody who knows me knows my guy is Iron Man. But I 100 and a million % agree with this. No one gave a shit about Superior Iron Man for the longest time, and they still don't. I'm going to be honest with you right now. If you bought Superior Iron Man 1 in the last 48 hours, you were either looking for
man, that was a fat
flip.
time to buy.
You were looking for a flip. That's it. I truly believe that because the book has literally been $1 book forever. There's been long boxes of this book. I remember when I posted my 3 copies back in last year, I think, people were laughing. They're like, oh, of course you would get that book. It's everywhere, man. It is everywhere. And I think, hype, to your point, you touched on it earlier. Like, there's so much of it. I think the price is going to go down and things like that. But I do think that, like, nobody was dressing up like fucking Superior Iron Man. Nobody was talking about Superior Iron Man.
That's an expensive cosplay to begin with.
Exactly, right? So I just think that a lot of people jumped the gun on that one because all of a sudden everybody's a Superior Iron Man fan out of nowhere. It's not like you want to read the book because you can find it on, these apps where you can read comic books for free and things like that. So like you could have just read it there, right? So I do think that the people that were buying it, I don't know if it's FOMO. I don't know what it is, but like you were probably, trying to flip it or something, right? So I don't know. Just my 2 cents. But.
It just baffles me. I mean, look, everyone, like, we live in a country, you could spend the money whichever way you want. It amazes me though how you're going off of theories and speculation and nothing concrete or confirmed that you're willing to dish out $80, $70 for a book that you don't know if it actually has it's pretty much on shaky ground to be honest. So that's why it kind of surprises me how people are that easily parting with their money. That's yeah.
You know what's funny too is like the same people that are spending $60 to $80 on Superior Iron Man 1 are the same people that like want to buy certain books that they want in their own collection, their own PC, that are literally like $80 to $120 books. And then they're literally going to be like so disappointed when this book doesn't do anything. Now, mind you, if Superior Iron Man turns out to be the biggest thing since fucking sliced bread, okay, I will come on here and be like, you know what? I made a mistake. Fuck, I sold mine for $40.
Good luck with that.
It is what it is. But I'm just saying, if somebody out there wants to challenge that, like I totally get it. As long as you pay your taxes on this show, you can have an opinion. That's kind of how we do things. But like, I don't know, man. I just don't see it happening. I think it's just one of those jump the gun things. I don't know. Look, if Tom Cruise is in it, it's literally just going to be a 2-second thing and it just close the universe. That's it.
But okay, here's the thing though. If you're a new collector, I get it.
Brad Pitt was in Deadpool.
Sorry?
Brad Pitt was in Deadpool too, so
Brad Pitt was in Deadpool.
Yeah, he had a cameo in Deadpool.
Yeah.
He was one of those what do they call them, Face? What was that group Deadpool that they No. He had a. Um,
Brad Pitt was in Deadpool.
He was
Why
the
do I not
Vanisher.
believe it?
He was the Vanisher. The
no,
invisible.
but what was
you
the
only
squad?
you only saw him when he got shocked.
No, but he had a name for his squad.
Bro, I'm telling you, go watch the movie again. It's fucking him.
No. I know it's Brad Pitt, but Deadpool had a name for the squad that he was trying to recruit. But I forgot.
Deadpool.
X-Force,
Okay,
yeah,
hold on a
X-Force,
second.
bro.
Hold on a second. The Invincible
His
guy
team was X-Force.
was Brad
X-Force.
Pitt.
No,
I don't know why I
Invisible.
blanked on that. It was X-Force. Yes, it was X-Force that he was trying to. Yeah.
Okay, what made that character be Brad Pitt? I'm confused. He didn't talk.
It was just a funny Easter egg that they decided.
It was
to
literally
Oh,
him.
okay. I was gonna say.
Watch
Okay,
it-
wait a minute.
Watch
I don't
it watch
remember
it when he watch the part when he dies and he gets electrocuted. You see him. You actually
Yeah,
see him.
because for the entire movie, you're convinced that there's no such thing as the Vanisher, but then the only time you actually see him is when he actually dies. So it was just one of those little funny nods that they just decided to.
Okay, I'm gonna
put
have
in
to
there.
rewatch the movie. So
Yeah.
Vancouver Comic Junkie, because you don't believe anything, newbie. I believe in a lot of things. I believe in the Tooth Fairy. I believe in Santa until my mother just destroyed that dream when I was 9 years old. So I mean, there's a lot I believe in.
Yeah, she doesn't want you to think some old dude is buying your gifts.
Yeah, he was
Well-
in X-Force.
Well, Chad is validating this dream.
One last comment I want to make before we switch gears to Moon Knight. Savage Lands. Nobody's brought that up. Nobody's said anything in the chat. I've been waiting for somebody to bring up Savage Lands. I've been personally talking, and I know Jake from Omega Omega Red, Spec Tales podcast. I know Vancouver Comic Junkie, big fan of the Savage Lands. Red Sonja, things like that. But like nobody's really talking about that. What are your thoughts? Because there is that one image where he's going through that whatever universe or whatever, it breaks into glass, and then you can kind of see like Savage Lands. What are your thoughts on that?
It's funny because I think it was Face or BC that brought this up yesterday on the Comic Kingpins about the hint of the Savage Lands, which I didn't even catch first glimpse. So, look, it would be cool if we got an intro to the Savage Lands, but I know that people are probably wondering what's the first appearance of Savage Lands. But correct me if I'm wrong. That's like I can't think of the number, but that's like an early X-Men issue, right? So we're talking about a Silver Age book to begin with. So
Yeah.
It would be cool if we did introduce Savage Lands, because I've been thinking for the longest time that I'm surprised that setting hasn't been used in Marvel. Like even in the Fox movies, I'm surprised that they didn't visit the Savage Lands. So if they bring it into the MCU, I'm all for it, because that's a lot of potential characters and storylines that could be unfolded in that land.
Swag, I'm with you on that.
It'd be an interesting place to bring it in, though. In Doctor Strange movie. But it'd be cool to see it show up.
Swag is saying, I wouldn't fault the working mom or dad who just wants to buy the hot book since they don't have the time to hunt. But if you are a speculator jumping on these books now, it's not the right move. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
But yeah, that was like because I wanted to qualify my previous point by saying, look, if you're new to the hobby or something, I get it. Like there's still some nuances you kind of. But if you've been around the block a few times and you've seen these kind of books heat up, you kind of know the deal with some of these books, like how there's like a cycle. Like right now, it's at its peak, and like I say with books, I treat books like the same way I treat some stocks. If you see a book shoot up overnight, like 300-400% of its value, rest assured that's pretty volatile, and that book is not going to stay that high for too long. I'm more into books that have a gradual increase in value, because they built up that value over time, and that value is more stable. But whenever you have like these books that shoot up way above the current FMV, it's either sell now, but don't buy like on the high. That's all.
Just like Moon Knight 2 Volume 2, the same thing. $2 book for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
Spikes up to 120. I really do think like after the show, I still think it's going to be a $10 book. I really do. It's the only book that character's in. I don't know. It happens, but I mean, if you're already into the character, right? If you are a fan of the character, you should have these, right? Like, I don't know how many times I've passed up Superior Iron Man 1 because 1, I've already had 3 copies, and you just saw it everywhere for the longest time, right? So, but yeah.
And that book is already on a dip.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Because I do want to show some love to Moon Knight. And I know there's a lot of fans of Moon Knight and a lot of people are excited, but Moon Knight trailer happened. It was more of a teaser. It wasn't really a trailer. The Empire magazine in the UK, I think, released like an image of him in that 3-piece suit. I don't really like that version of Moon Knight, to be honest. I just like him with like the cape and the hood and, you know, the way Moon Knight is. I don't like him as Mr. Moon Knight or whatever the case may be.
Mr. Knight?
Yeah, I'm not big on Moon Knight. I don't really know too much about him. So I don't know his powers or anything like that. But like, that's how I like Moon Knight. I don't like him as Mr. Moon Knight or Mr. Knight. But everybody's going crazy about it. You know, what are your thoughts, Hype?
It's a cool concept. I mean, I figured especially because it's a TV series, we were gonna at some point get that version. I didn't think we were gonna get it in the first season because I assumed that this would be multiple seasons, the series. But yeah, listen, I've been starting to read a bit of Moon Knight lately, and I'm digging actually the whole Mr. Knight persona. It's just another. It's a more dapper, like I guess you could call it diplomatic version of Moon Knight. And I'm actually curious how that character kind of translates on the big screen, not big screen, small screen. Sorry. And regarding the second trailer, I gotta say I liked it a lot more than the first trailer. I know a lot of people like the first trailer. I was kind of indifferent on it because I took the stand that look, it's a cool trailer that like for the first one, but I kind of looked at it as if I was a casual person that knew nothing about Moon Knight, that trailer would confuse the hell out of me. This trailer at least gave me a little bit more to look forward to. So, but yeah, as far as Mr. Knight goes, I'm looking forward to it as a character.
Face, what are your thoughts on Mr. Knight, sir?
He's muted.
Face, you're muted.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting variant of the character. But you know, with Moon Knight, we already know we're going to get several variants of him because that's kind of his thing. So I think pretty much everybody expected him to show up at some point. You know, maybe if they didn't necessarily get to it this season, if they did a second season, he would probably show up there. You know, whatever. So you know, getting different versions of Moon Knight, I don't think surprises anyone really. They didn't give us a whole lot of anything new from the trailer or teaser or whatever you want to call it, but it still looked cool. You know, it kind of hyped up the interest in the show and everything. And I'm excited for it because, you know, again, we get a lot more runtime with, you know, the shows than we do the movies and everything like that. So
this is where I'm gonna get more of my backlash. I didn't think anything of this teaser. I think it was a teaser. Okay, first of all, this is almost like, hey, what's a first full and what's a first appearance? Like a teaser and a trailer. Is it, you know, runtime? Is it based on like what they show? Like what's going on here? Me personally, I took this as like as a trailer, but then someone's like, I think it's a teaser because they just teased it. But then isn't that what a trailer does? It teases what the movie is. So I don't know. I didn't really think anything of this. I was more pumped with like the first trailer because it was like 3 minutes long and we got what we wanted. We got to see him in the suit and everything like that. It didn't really do much, and I don't know. I don't know. I didn't go to school for marketing or branding, but I was a little confused that, and I get why, right? It's Super Bowl, millions of people watch it, right? So like you have the stage, but I just didn't understand how like in the first commercial break we get Moon Knight or we get Doctor Strange, and then in the second commercial break we get Moon Knight. Like it just kind of, I don't know. Wouldn't you want the focus to be solely people talking about Doctor Strange and then Moon Knight? I don't know.
Well, I mean, because
no, go ahead.
Well, Moon Knight's coming a lot sooner than Doctor Strange, right? So that's probably why they wanted to shoehorn in Moon Knight as well. I mean, it's coming out in March. It's not that far off. So, and I figured, I guess they probably did like a shorter trailer because they figured it's almost going to supplement the first trailer that they already put out. That, like you mentioned, is like 2.5, 3 minutes long. So, you know, I don't think that trailer is supposed to be taken in isolation. It's probably meant.
But you know,
so like you watch the first trailer and then. What's that? Face?
Well, as I said, what's interesting is that in all of the trailers that we've got. Oh shit! Sorry, is it breaking up?
No, you're good.
No, I was gonna say, well, what's interesting though? It's kind of. Oh, my bad. With what Hyper was saying though, whenever you look at like the Doctor Strange trailers compared to like the stuff that we've got from Moon Knight, they've put out a whole lot less information about the Moon Knight series than what they've kind of already given us as to what's going to happen in this Doctor Strange movie, and that's kind of that's kind of weird, because there's so much more runtime for the Moon Knight. So you'd think that they would have a lot more that they could just go ahead and show without revealing too much, So
Here's my guess on that. Because people that are gonna watch Moon Knight are gonna have the Disney Plus subscription.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, I'm not saying that it's a lock, but it's almost like they figured, it's a cheap buy-in anyways to watch this TV series. Whereas Doctor Strange, sorry, yeah,
the audience is already there. Yeah.
Whereas Doctor Strange, Marvel has a lot vested in this because, especially with COVID, they're not doing like in terms of box office releases. What was that movie? Was it Eternals or no? Eternals had a bit more of a longer screen time in theaters before it went to Disney Plus. But Black Widow wasn't that long before it went straight to Disney Plus, right? So I'm guessing that they probably want to put a lot more in their trailer because
I think Black Widow was the one that like she got fucked over, remember? Because it was like during COVID and all that. Yeah.
But I think wasn't there a period of time that it was like it wasn't straight to Disney Plus, right? Black Widow didn't it have a period of time before.
No, Black Widow I think was straight to Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's kind of what the lawsuit was about.
My bad. Yeah. Okay, but I mean, but to my point though, I guess those trailers are a bit more bloated with Doctor Strange because, with box office numbers, that hinge on these kind of movies, they want to make sure that as many people, stay interested in the movie so that, they'll get a lot more tickets sold. So that's why I feel like Marvel can get away with like, not showing much in the Moon Knight versus Doctor Strange. They probably want to put out their best effort forward.
Swag is saying, I'm surprised with how many collectors kind of hate on Moon Knight. I personally don't hate Moon Knight.
Moon Knight's a cult following.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to come down to, right? Like the hardcore fans are going to be the hardcore fans. I'll be honest. Maybe last year you heard, you saw a bit of rumblings of people, but like if you go back like 2-3 years ago, nobody was saying anything about Moon Knight. Like if you came around, we're like, yeah, Moon Knight's my guy. He's my favorite character. People would just be like, you're an idiot or something. Like it just wasn't a name that was like at the forefront. Where now, it's literally, everybody's a Moon Knight fan. I just don't know too much about him. I know I lost out because like years ago, I had a chance to get a copy of like a 7.0 for like $600-700, like way back in the day. But we all have stories like that. I don't know too much about his powers. I don't know too much about his history. I know it's dark and I like that. So I'm looking forward to that. Just like Vancouver Comic Junkie saying, like, I'm very excited for it just because of that dark. It does look like they're going very dark with it. And I like that. Also, I don't really know too much about his storyline. All I'm told is it's kind of like that. So I'm gonna wait and see, man. But I do like the fact they're taking a dark approach, especially because we have She-Hulk coming. That's gonna be more of a comedy. Like they're kind of spanning out everything, and I kind of appreciate the fact that they're going dark. So we got more of a confirmation that Ethan maybe more than Arthur Harrow. Who knows if he's even Arthur though? Who knows? BW was Disney early premiere at the same time as the theater.
Yeah, so it came out at the same time as okay.
Swag.
I think Moon Knight suffered for a long time from being kind of just known as like the Batman of Marvel. So he was kind of one of those characters that people didn't give a whole lot of interest to because I guess of that preconception, but a lot of the recent runs have kind of done away with that. So
Ozzy, Moon Knight is a perfect gateway to the horror side of the MCU. 100%. because you could possibly get vampires, you could possibly get,
Hell yeah.
Blade, things like that. Guys, really quickly, before, YouTube spec people, newbie, they start doing their shows about like, hey, Moon Knight books to spec on or whatever. What do you guys think will be like? Because when Winter Soldier happened, everybody was like, oh, Red Hulk's gonna show up and Omega Red and this and that, right? Like people are going nuts, right? And they made like these crazy things. But like, what in your opinion do you think might be a possible or feasible character or characters to kind of show up in Moon Knight?
I think Werewolf by Night, just because it could also tie into that Halloween special that they're going to do. What is it, in October, I guess? So that's one character that comes to mind that possibly could make some kind of cameo Easter egg in Moon Knight.
Face, what are your thoughts?
Say that again, bro. I'm sorry, you cut out there for a second.
Oh, sorry. I said with every show, with every show, we have these characters that, basically, there's these just crazy like guesses, like, oh man, like in Winter Soldier, it was like, oh, Red Hulk and like Omega Red, they're coming, right? What do you think is a possible or a feasible character that could show up in Moon Knight? Because obviously it's not just going to be Moon Knight. They're obviously going to hint or leave an Easter egg for something. That's just what Marvel does. What are your thoughts on that? Who do you think we could see, or a team, or just anybody? Who do you think?
Man, for Moon Knight, I think, well, a couple like there could be a couple characters that would be more central to Moonlight, like maybe Stainless, Scarlet shows up or something like that. Of course, they could bring in like a lot. Chad is saying Werewolf by Night is a good guess. Dracula, yeah, any pretty much anybody on the horror side would be good, to bring in, because I mean, Moon Knight's still going to be a psychological horror type of show, so it's definitely going to fill that vibe. But yeah, any of the horror characters are a good guess. I don't know though. I just, it's hard to say if they're going to bring in a whole lot of characters in the Moon Knight series.
Me personally, I think. Yeah, I think we have to look at maybe like them hinting at, say, like a Dracula, right?
Someone also brought up Dracula. The only thing about Dracula that I'm a bit hesitant on, isn't he right now public domain at this point?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I think after 100 years, if a character exists,
he's probably been public domain for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my only. I mean, you might see a like Dracula, but I don't think he could be exclusive to the MCU. That's the only problem.
No. But they could still use him. It's not like they
could use him. Yeah, they could use him as. But the thing is, it's like.
Yeah.
I just think that, and I think it was Vancouver who said, he goes, Moon Knight is being done in England and in Europe, and you have to look at that. And I said, fuck yeah, you're right. Maybe Dracula, maybe werewolf, things like that, because that's where those stories kind of did originate from, right? So I think it would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I do think, like, if it's going to be the gateway and the start to the horror stuff, I mean, Dracula, Werewolf by Night. Me personally, I love the Living Mummy. I love that book. I think that's one of the monsters that nobody's fucking paying attention to. I know Pressable Defects just made a video and they just talked about it, and I was like, yes. But now I'm like, shit. Now I can't go buy it because everyone's gonna be buying it. But that was a book that I've always wanted. I think it's a dope book. But a lot of these characters could show up, and I think that's the possibility. I would love to say Blade. I really would. Hype, I know you like Blade. That's one of your guys. I think Blade could happen. Who knows? A lot of people sleep on. I mean, maybe some Eternals because they're in Europe. Like, you never know. Maybe Black Knight, something, right? Like, I think that they could use characters that are already in there.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
I was thinking about Blade also, but my only thing is that he was already kind of teased in the Eternals. So
they could tease him here.
They kind of gave him
the same way. The same way that they do, like, not showing.
I just feel like it's almost like the way I'm looking at it is if Marvel had like one tease, let's just say they have like one tease quota per movie, they don't want to burn it out with the character that they've already teased previously, if that makes sense. I just
Yeah.
figure like introduce someone that's fresh that hasn't been seen before. So that's why I picked Werewolf by Night. But no, Blade. Listen, Blade could be a possibility because he definitely has a lot of strong tie-ins with Moon Knight.
Brick Hunter's in the house. Minuteman's in the house. What's going on? Dennis is in the house. Thanks for joining us, guys. Yeah, Ozzy saying Frankenstein. That's true. I just think more Frankenstein is more like Halloween. I think when you think about like the horror stuff, your mind automatically goes to like werewolf and Dracula, and I think Mummy, but I don't know.
Because the thing is, yeah,
not to say the Mummy's gonna be like the
Newbie, I don't know if you're
big villain. What? What'd you say?
I was gonna say I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a little bit of a correlation between Halloween and horror.
No, 100%. But I'm just saying, like, if Frankenstein was going to be in the movie, I would just think more Halloween first. Where if it's Dracula, I wouldn't necessarily go Halloween. I would think like, oh shit, Blade, and like my mind just goes into like possibilities of what they could do, right? Where like if somebody says like, oh Frankenstein, I'm thinking like Halloween, right? Like that's just how my thought process works. I know a lot of people are saying Ghost Rider, Midnight Suns, that's been around for like a few years. Do you think that they actually show up?
I don't think Ghost Rider personally, because like there's different tiers of characters we always talk about, right? Like Ghost Rider is at another echelon, I feel, and I just feel like Ghost Rider. I don't know if his first appearance in the MCU you want him as a tease, whereas like Werewolf by Night is not at the same level as Ghost Rider. That's why I don't mind him being an Easter egg.
Yeah,
I just feel that Ghost Rider would be, and it would be a character that'd be very hard not to leak, in my opinion. Yeah, Lilith is a possibility.
Yeah, it's true. My big one is
Kang and Loki. So
what's that?
Kang and Loki.
I said they brought in.
Who's to say Kang doesn't show up?
That wasn't really. I mean,
was
that Kang or was that I'm gonna butcher the name. He Who Remains. What is it called?
The Immortus or the one above
Kang.
all? Yeah, I guess. This would be amazing. Jamie, I am 100% with you. If this happens, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
That would kick off a crazy, just it would bring down the house. I really do. Maybe Xlev will be in Moon Knight. Never know. Moon Knight, I think a lot. Here's the thing with Moon Knight, right? With a lot of the other shows, we already had a sense of what those characters were because we've seen them in different movies. We've seen different adaptations of them, right? Like we've seen Loki, we've seen Falcon, we've seen Winter Soldier, we've seen Wanda, we've seen Vision, we've seen what's another show? Hawkeye. We've seen these characters. We know. Where this one's going to lay the foundation, right? Like they are taking a show approach. It's not a movie. So they literally have to set the foundation in order to build this character up, to make sure that people jump on this character in order to make multiple seasons and maybe order to make this character go to movies, right? I think that's what a lot of people are sometimes forgetting, is that just like Shang-Chi, this is going to be brand new, clean slate. We've never seen something like this. We've seen Batman. We've just never seen a Batman-like character, dark, in Marvel, right? And I think that that's going to be the big question mark. So I don't necessarily think that they're going to show too much or bring in like all these mega characters. I do think that they'll hint at a character or something like that. That's my 2 cents.
Well, also, they even mentioned in an article how this is, and as expected, they said that this series is going to be more of a character study similar to the first Iron Man, where Iron Man 1 had some action, but it was very much a character study on the character of Tony Stark and his evolution. So we'll probably see some action scenes here and there, but for the most part, I think it's going to delve into that whole DID, disorder that, Mark Spector, Moon Knight has. And that's why it's going to be episodic, because I feel like that's why this kind of character is suited for an episodic show, because every episode you kind of have different personalities probably playing out.
There's a Moon Knight Kang annual. I think this guy named Newbie Comics spec'd on that. It's an issue number 1, and it's got like 15 different adaptations of Moon Knights. Just saying. Face, what are your thoughts on, the Moon Knight possibly not bringing any characters in?
The Moon Knight, what?
Like your thoughts on Moon Knight possibly not bringing any characters, just letting it be how it is.
I mean, I don't think that they'll bring in like nobody. I mean, there's going to be some kind of surprise somewhere, or like who or what it would be. I would probably expect like a more Moon Knight centric character, someone that he deals with more on a regular basis. But I think that's actually probably more likely than getting a bunch of big surprises from the Moon Knight series.
Yeah. Hard Knocks collectibles. Blade will be towards the end, showing up 100%. Hype, do you want to tell the people what happened at the end or just before Shang-Chi came around? We were kind of discussing, you and I, purchasing the first appearance of Shang-Chi. And we both thought, I think the one that we looked at was an 8.0 for $800. And we both just looked at each other like, oh my God, that's crazy. Like, we've never seen something like this. That's just too much. Like, and then we started doing the compare game, right? We have books that we were like, I could take this money and go buy this. Then what happened? Shang-Chi came, that 8.0 selling for $800 was like a $2,700 book. You could have made coin. I think that's going to be the same thing with these characters. I think there's still a little bit of money to be made with the Moon Knight book. I think there's a ceiling that's not even touched with Blade, like Tomb of Dracula 10. I think if you can get that book, I think it's going to do the exact same thing, just go higher and nuts. What are your thoughts, when you think about that book and where it is now compared to like where it could be?
I think Tomb of Dracula actually has a higher ceiling than Shang-Chi because the thing is that was in Marvel Special Edition and Blade's first appearance was in Tomb of Dracula. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that would also have a lower print count than Marvel Special Edition. So I would think
Tomb of Dracula has a lower print run? Yeah.
So I would think there's less copies of Tomb of Dracula in circulation. And that book was already creeping up in price prior to the announcement of Mahershala Ali being cast as Blade. So, and given that the actor that is actually playing Blade, I think a lot of high expectations are on that character that he will knock it out of the park. So, I don't. And the thing is, and I made this prediction also. I feel Blade will surpass Moon Knight in terms of popularity. I don't think that's a bold prediction. I just think, in terms of where the characters are in general, I'm just making like a generalization. I just feel that Blade will just have a bigger fan base, just because he's also a character that's a lot easier to follow and relate to, whereas Moon Knight is more of a complex character. So he'll, like Faye said before, he'll have his cult following, but I think Blade will just appeal to a more broader casual audience, which is why those Wesley Snipes movies did gangbusters at the box office.
Yeah, but honestly, because of those Wesley Snipes movies, I think Blade probably already has the bigger fan base, to be honest. I mean,
true. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so
more people probably know who Blade is than Moon Knight. So,
good point. Yeah, because I mean, he already has a bit of help. Yeah, you're right. Because it's not like a case where we sometimes crap on the previous older movies, how it kind of did a disservice to the character. Whereas, I don't think, as much as people crap on pre-MCU movies, Blade was one of those franchises. Maybe not the later Blade movies like Blade 3, but the first two Blade movies.
Triple H was in that.
Yeah, that's not
exactly.
helping the point. That's not helping the.
He had the little puppy, remember? He fucking. I always remember that.
Making it worse.
Yeah.
Well, at least I mean, and it was also Ryan Reynolds pre-Deadpool, so
yeah. I still, just to show like how I say iconic. I think it was iconic. But I'm always, I always find myself, you know, like my wife will do some stuff, and sometimes I'll be like, "You want to roll with this?" Right? Like I always, like, even jokingly with friends, my wife, my dad, who, like, you know, is an old immigrant, you know, English isn't like, he's not like me. Right. I'll joke with him, like he'll do, I'm like, you can't roll with this, right? Like I always just joke with that. I think, and every time people are like, dude, where's that from? I'm like, Blade, right? Like it's just
Yeah,
it's got
I'm like,
that.
doesn't that joke only work when you actually know people that
Yo,
know the movie? Because now you
I
just come
just
off
say
like
it
a
all the
complete.
it's
time.
actually kind of funny that he should say that. I was just
I
telling
just,
my girlfriend the other day that some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
we did have a question, by the way. So Ozzy says, or he's asking, what do you guys think the go-to Moon Knight book will be? Me personally, I think it's going to be Moon Knight 1. Here's why. The purple cover. Here's
Wait,
why.
hold. So I guess we're excluding his first appearance because I'm guessing that's a given.
Well, yeah, I was going to explain why I didn't go there,
I would
but
think so.
Okay.
so because that book is extremely just, you know, it's on, you know, some people might not be able to afford it. Everyone has different financial, you know, situations, and that's fine. I mean, there's still technically a pandemic going on, so, like, you know, a lot of people aren't working or whatever. That book is a little crazy. If you were going to go down the ladder, as we like to say here, you know, you go down the ladder, I think it's the Moon Knight 1, just because it'll be the next best book, in my opinion. That's where I would go. That's where I would put my money. But even that book, even though that's a super popular book, it was everywhere for the longest time. Raw copies were selling for like $40 all over the damn place. It's going to be just something that a lot of people pick up on. So
I'm gonna take a different approach. I'm gonna go with I don't know the issue number. Maybe chat can help me out, or if you guys. What's that Marvel Spotlight number that is Moon Knight's first
28,
solo? 28. Okay, there you
the
go.
yellow cover. Yeah. I hate that book.
I'm gonna go with that book only
Ugh.
because it's. I just find that Moon Knight one, because it's also number one and it was in the during the Copper Age. There's a lot more copies out there than people would think. And I know people are going to bring up Hulk 181. I get it. Hulk 181 has a ton of copies and it still sells, but that's different. Wolverine is almost like an anomaly, to be honest. Yeah, I just feel like, look, and I have 3 copies of that Moon Knight number 1 from 1980.
Such a scammer, dude. It's people like you that ruin this damn community.
But see, but you would think that I'd be talking up my book, but I'm actually going the other side. I'm going with Spotlight 20. I just feel like that book has you don't see it as often, at least not in great condition, because it's an older book. I mean, I see Nearman copies of that Moon Knight number 1 quite often, or VF Plus. The other one, like the Spotlight 28, is just a lot more, and usually the higher copies do fetch a premium already. So I just think that if Moon Knight was your character, and that Werewolf by Night 32 is out of your price range, you know, maybe pick yourself up a Spotlight 28.
Hold up. I love that guy's name.
Yeah. Toasting your salad?
Just got to point that out. Yeah.
Nice.
I love that name. That's great. So, yeah. I kind of think so. Like, I think as far as, you know, what's going to be the book that would be more, I guess, bigger financially, would be, yeah, I think the Spotlight, because, yeah, again, like Hyper said, you know, it's probably going to be harder to find and everything like that. Now, that being said, though, I do think you're going to see more people going after that Moon Knight number 1. Just because, you know, it is, you know, even a little bit more affordable. The cover, man, it's a great cover on that Moon Knight number 1. So I think that's the one that people are going to gravitate towards. But I think because the Spotlight is a little harder to find and everything, it'll still hold a premium.
Ferber is saying, you know, I'm grabbing all the Blade old school 90s books. Super easy to get here. You know what? I think they're still easy to get now. I just don't think, you know, And for those of you that watch, especially me, on my side, but like even when I, drop in and crash the comic kingpins and stuff like that, or just things that I've taken to other shows, is I always say, until it's in your face, and I don't like doing the John Cena, until the character's in our face and everybody's talking about it, I don't think that people believe it's going to happen, right? So people just tend to not buy it. Like Blade was in Eternals. We know Blade is here. We know they're trying to do horror. Why aren't people connecting the dots? For whatever reason, people still think, I can get it later. I can get it later, right? I've talked to people and they're like, I'll just get it later.
Superior Iron Man.
Exactly, right? But that's what people do. I've done it. I've done it with a lot of books where I'm like, I'll just get it later. I'll get it later. And then it hits. And then I'm like, fuck, I'm not spending $1,000 for this. Like, why would I spend $1,000 on this? It was like, $200 before. And I said, wait. So that's where you got to cut your losses. But I do think that, people are sleeping on Blade. I do think that you can get a lot of Blade books right now because no one's talking about it. Once the show happens in Moon Knight, who knows? If they hint Blade, that might be, the tip of the iceberg, things like that. So I'm just saying, I'm with Ferber. I'm with Matrix too. We've had conversations about Blade. So yeah, I do. So, it's just something that people got to do. What I usually do is when everybody's talking about something, so everybody's talking about Superior Iron Man, everybody's talking about Illuminati, guess what I'm doing? I'm looking somewhere else now because there's no point in going after that because everybody's going to be on that, and that's what you have to do, right?
And also, you have to keep in mind there isn't a lot of Blade keys that people are talking about. Not so much that there aren't any out there. It's just that it just lets you know that there's an opportunity for people to research the character out and probably find some of these characters in Blade's lore that might be going under the radar because, like I said, it's a scenario where once people start talking about it, then that book gets a spotlight, and then that's when books start raising prices. But you don't see a lot of, obviously Hannibal, and there's other characters in the Blade mythos that
Ulysses.
does get some fun. Yeah, but I'm sure there's other characters that aren't being having a lot of attention given. So again, this is the perfect time for people, if they're all in on Blade, to start reading those early Two of Draculas and some of those early Blade series and kind of piece some puzzles together and just see what other possibilities or storylines that could be used, because that's how you kind of stay ahead.
Yeah, Blade's a good spot to be looking in right now too. Because like you guys are saying, everything's pretty cheap. So other than that first appearance.
Yeah, Furbird. I think that's how you pronounce it. So I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it. I'm getting an Avengers 7 and 9/8 next week. Do I hold? I don't necessarily know where the prices. I mean, obviously we don't know where the prices are going to be, but like I saw prices in 9/8 today go for like $800 US.
That's insane.
I mean, if you can get $800 US for that, I would probably take it. I really would, because like next week when the next hot book is out or there's another trailer for something else, who knows if that's the heat, right? We all see it. We all see these hot 10 lists. We all see these things. We see how these, Black Panther 3, it was number 7 on cover price. It was number 8. I forget in whose top 10 list. It was number, like they don't always stay at number 1. So, I don't know, man.
True.
It's just going on? I always put things in perspective whenever I see prices like that, in terms of like, okay, like we talked about this with White Vision. When we saw his 9/8 going for like over $2,000, you kind of have to put in perspective of what other books are comparable to an $800 book that you could. It's like opportunity cost. Like you're giving up $800 to buy a new Avengers 7, but what else could that $800 be getting?
Iron Man 55.
Yeah, like what great
4 annual 2.
Yeah, exactly. Like
a lot of shit.
There's a lot of stuff that would probably hold its value and are more iconic and more cool.
Has staying power
to have.
Yeah, so it's all about just putting things in perspective. That's just kind of how I curb my own FOMO that I sometimes experience. It's like you just gotta see what else can I spend the money on.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's all about timing too, right? Like if it's not hot, then it starts losing heat, right? And then that's just what happens, right? So I don't know. I actually just dropped this in our group chat that we have because one of the guys comic dude, he had asked, hey, like, what do you guys think I should do with X book, right? I can't remember what book. And I just kind of told him something that like I've been kind of preaching to myself and kind of things that I've been talking about with certain people is, why did you buy that book in the first place? Did you buy that book because it was going to be a flip? Did you buy it because you were going to hold on to it for 10 years and see where it is? Did you buy it because it's a PC book? If you answered yes to it's just a flip book and you got it for $1 or $5, I'm okay selling it for 30, 40. Because if it gets to say 60, I'm not going to be mad. Okay, I maybe lost out on 15 to 20 bucks, but like at the end of the day, I still made like 600 and 700%, profit on that, right? I can't remember the math exactly, but like that's just kind of how I think, right? So if I buy a book for $1 to $5 and I know it's gonna be something that I'm just flipping down the road, I don't get mad at that. But if you're buying something to flip and then you lose out on when the book is hot, then you're stuck with the book, right? So it's kind of one of those, right?
And the thing is, it's not really so much a science either. It's like no one, like unless you're super lucky, you'll never ever sell your book at its peak. There's always going to be the chance that you're going to miss out on an opportunity to sell for even more. But like you said, and someone in the chat mentioned, it's all about ROI. Like as long as you're selling your book for more than what you paid for, and you're comfortable with the margin, then take the W and move on to the next book.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that.
All right, some cornbread for you all that I shared with Newbie, in my opinion. The coolest Blade incentive variant, Ultimate Avengers 3, #1 foil, 1 in 25. That is dope. You did share that with me. It is great. I still can't find it anywhere, though, so I'm still looking for it. Hard Knocks is saying, does it bring you joy? If not, flip it. Yeah. To me, though, it goes in two different ways, right? Like, I've come across so many collections where I'm like, oh, I have 3 long boxes. My Spec, PC, and long-term Spec, right? And that's kind of just how I do it. And I put the books in there, and that's pretty much it. So some I'm holding. Yeah, I can get it now, and I'm gonna hold it. And there's some that I'm like, okay, I'm literally gonna hold this for like 2-3 months because it's literally gonna pop. And that's just kind of how I do it. But anytime I buy one of those books, I think about that question, right? Why did I buy this book? Is it a flip? Is it going to help me get something more? Or is it going to be a book that I want to enjoy, want to read it, want to keep it in my collection? That's how I think about it. So when a question is, oh man, this book now is selling for $50, should I sell it? You do have that like, should I hold out because maybe it's $100 book, maybe it's a $200 book, or do I sell it now at 50? I'm okay selling it at 50. I really am. That's just because I remember why I bought it. I bought it to get a higher book, right? Like help the hobby pay for itself. And that's kind of how I do things. I agree with you on the joy comment. My thing is, are you attracted to it? No, then flip.
Attached.
Exactly.
Yeah, my issue is that I think I told you this, Newbie, that sometimes I'll have the intention of selling a book, but then once it's in my collection, I sometimes get a bit too attached to it and it doesn't leave my PC. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. Look.
Yeah, I have the same problem.
I have like I sort through my books all the time, and I have no issue with the books I've kept, just because it's first and foremost, I don't really buy books like, even if it was ultimately to sell it. My criteria is I'll buy a book that even if I'm stuck with it, I still wouldn't mind. Like it still would give me some level of satisfaction in my PC. Like you're not gonna find books like in my PC that it's like a regret purchase kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I'll buy things that is in my wheelhouse. Yeah.
But sometimes you do find books, right? Like, when you hunt as much as, and I'm not trying to show off. I set aside, like on my days off, I know, like in 2 weeks when I have a day off, I know where I'm going to hunt. I already know what I'm doing in 2 weeks time, which I think is like, makes me a sick person. But like, I'm just an organized person. So like, I know that that's what I'm going to do. Right. So faith. So when you come across that, like, I know what I'm looking for in the sense of like, okay, if there's you know, this book or that book, I know that I'm going to use it for, you know, to help me reach another goal, right? And that's kind of how I've gotten some of my bigger books, right? Let the hobby pay for itself. So just depends, you know, where you feel. But there's also books that I will never sell. Like, it's just not going to happen. I just want them in my PC, and that's where they are, and that's just for me, right? So
I just got to address Marvel's comment. Look. I know where he's going at with this because he knows I have probably several copies of this book.
Yeah.
It's a
hey,
free
you and me
comic book
both,
day
man.
issue.
You and me both.
But look, it was a free comic book day issues. I think most of those copies I didn't pay, or even if I paid, it would have been less than $1. So yeah, okay, we're not gonna count that. We're not gonna count.
You know what's funny is a lot of people forget that this book came out with that giant size fucking Last Ronin, like thin book, that ash can book that reached $100 raw. And I remember Keys was very hesitant on buying it. I go, dude, just fucking buy it. It looks cool. It's only 2 pages. This could be something down the road. But I also remember in the same breath, Keys was like, then get the free comic book day, because in our shop, they literally had the free comic books with bags and boards. So Keys has always been the one to say, like, well, at least you get a free bag and board. So like, that's technically why I have so many. Like, I still have like 25 copies.
I'm surprised that they bag and board your free comics. Yeah, I don't think stores nowadays will bag and board free comic book day books.
No, they don't now, dude. Big B just ended up taking all raw. It's all raw now. They don't put bags and boards on anything until you pay for it at the cat.
That's kind of like where I think most shops are at these days.
Yeah. If you think the book will come back in price after it pops, sell it. What's the reason to hang on to that specific book? If you're wrong, that's the change. Yeah, exactly. It's all a gamble, right? Me personally, if I know I'm buying a book and I'm like, okay, this is going to be a spec of mine, I'm okay when it pops to sell it at 30, 40, 50. I'm okay with it. If it reaches 80, well, whatever. I want to sell it right now to make the money, because that book was just what it was. It was spec, right? So that's kind of how I do it. When Newbie Comics and I hunt together, we are speed demons. I don't think a lot of people can hunt. Oh yeah, dude. Well, hype. I don't know if I can hunt with you, man, because, like, you know, let the people know, dude. Like, you know, we're usually waiting outside for you, and you're still in there for like.
This is why I hunt alone.
But yeah, you know what? I've made.
Yeah, there's nothing hyper about hyper.
Hold on. And I tried to be courteous. I did ask you a few times, hey, are you guys cool? Just to give that obligatory question about, just to make sure that, like, deep down I did want to hunt some more, but I just had to throw it out there, like, hey, you guys cool waiting? So yeah, you're right.
Hyper just wanted to beat you guys into fucking submission. That's what it was.
Oh, dude, like, I remember Brandon or Comic Dude being like, dude, he's still down there. And I was like, oh, dude, we're waiting out here for like 40 minutes already. Like, let's go. But hey, you know, everybody collects differently. Everybody goes through things.
I just happen to be thorough with some of my 100%. Picks. Yeah, so.
I will say, though, me and Just Cruz, I mean, he's a brother now. You know, he's a really good dude. You know, we can talk sports, sneakers, comics, whatever. But we've been going on a lot of hunts together, man. You know, he hunts like me. Like, we're just like, okay, and we got a good system. Hey, Cruz, I'm looking for this. You're looking for that. Cool. So, like, even if we're in 2 different sections, like, we're talking, you know, like, it's almost like we've been hunting together for like fucking years. It's great. I love hanging out with him. I love hunting with him, and I'm always pissed that he's always working now, because we can only hunt on weekends, and the last couple of weekends I've been working, so it's just been fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I listen, I haven't been hunting for a while either, but only that's just because like I just mentioned to you previously, usually when I get these books I have a hard time selling them. So I noticed that usually in my hunts, it's like books that are supposed to be flips end up just staying in my collection. So that's why it's almost like I'm kind of limiting my visits to the LCSs lately.
Yeah.
You know.
Ferbert, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I really do appreciate it. Humble. You know, I'm not good at getting things, but thank you, man, so much. It means a lot. Anything you want to say, let me know. I will definitely post it. But I appreciate, the support you've given me and the $5, man. I really do appreciate it. Super chat.
And I appreciate Pacino also for that comment. Thank you.
What did Pacino say? Hold on. Pacino.
Of course you would skip his comment. Of course you would skip that comment.
Right.
I'm just joking, man. I think usually what ends up happening is, we all have certain books, and then it's like, and then I can just go, and for me, for anybody who knows me, who's hunted with me, they like, I don't know, maybe it's just because like I have like a really good memory, but like I know covers. Like I know covers. So I can go through a long box and be like, hey, yep, this, boom, that's it. Yep, that's it. Oh, I think this is something, I've seen this, like just, things pop off when you're hunting.
I've had that same thing where like sometimes I might pick out a book from a long box and it's like, I have a feeling this book is something, but I'm not quite sure, but I've seen this book. So then I kind of have to do a bit more digging.
Yeah.
I mean, into that book that I just pulled out. And then, yeah.
My favorite thing is hunting. I love hunting. And, sometimes, people do, I guess, know me for like my spec and like, the business side of it. But I do love hunting. I do love that. I do love finding certain books. My vice is finding certain books that I'm either speccing on that I literally paid $1 for, send it off to CGC, get it back in a 9.6, 9.8, literally having the investment be like $60, right, for CGC, and then just, being told, hey, newbie, that book is selling for like 800. Like like that gets me excited because like I look at that and I'm like, oh shit, now I have enough to like go buy like this or go hunt here, and like that's just kind of how I do things. But I love the hunt, man. A lot of people are like, dude, what, you're always out. I go, I just love hunting, man. Like I love being in flea markets, antique shops, comic shop. Like I love that shit. It's awesome.
I'm just gonna plug something right now quickly because he just popped up in the chat again. It's funny how Marvel just brought up that comment. I will be in his neck of the woods this Saturday, so hopefully me and him can do some hunting together.
Do you want to share where that is, just in case there's people close by that want to meet you guys? Or
it is in Belleville, Ontario, so,
Canada.
Just
in case there's like some Americans like, oh yo, I'll come meet you.
I'm not going to Belleville, Bosnia.
I didn't even know there was one, right? Hunting is the shit. It's finding old junk and cleaning and pressing until it looks sharp. Love see, yo, dude. Honestly, yeah, it is. And you know what? I've met a lot of people, in flea markets or whatever, just hunting, and some people, male, female, whatever the case may be, young, older. I've had so many conversations. I've met so many people just hunting and shooting the shit with people, and man, it's dope. I love the whole concept of it, man. You're just surprised like what you find, and I don't know. I can see like fucking 40 long boxes or like 100 long boxes, and I've had people be like, "Oh fuck, I'm not going through that." And in my mind, I'm like, "Oh, I'm definitely going through this."
Dude, that's
right?
usually
like,
that's yeah. Like my rationale is yeah, exactly. Like my thing is the more disorganized a shop is, the more I get excited about the prospects that I'm gonna find. The minute I see a shop catalog, the hell, man. I mean, I'm not trying to catch COVID. Listen, the minute I see, because I've been to shops where they meticulously catalog their books and all that, and they have an inventory system. Those shops, I know for a fact, it's going to be very hard to catch a deal because they know what's under their umbrella. But those shops that have books that are kind of not in, I'm not talking about condition wise, but just like books all over the place. Those are the shops that you generally can find some gold.
More like Smellville. Yo, Rocksteady. Big shout out to Rocksteady.
Is he Canadian?
Yeah, he's far out west, so he is in the Edmonton area. He actually is going to be coming to Toronto Comic Con in March, so March 18th to 20th. Here, obviously, so it's like my backyard, basically, our neck of the woods here, in Eastern Canada, or southeast Ontario. Toronto is our our backyard. And he's coming down. So I'm looking excited. I know Wesley's going to be there. I know Sam Rock's going to be there. Ozzy's going to be there. No more mandate. As of March 1st, there is no more passport.
Same here. For I think it's March 14th.
So I know Comic Dude is coming. I know Keys is coming, or hopefully Just Cruise is coming. There's going to be a ton of people going to this. I cannot wait to meet people, to hunt. It's actually funny because Just Cruise is here, Don, and Rocksteady. So Rocksteady messaged me just before we went live because we were chatting all that, back and forth. And he goes, he goes, dude, I can't wait to see you, work the floor, right?
Work the floor. What are you gonna do?
Dealing, wheeling and dealing, wheeling and dealing.
Oh, okay. I was like, are you selling your body or something? It's
No. So then I go, so in my head, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh yeah, wheeling and dealing. In my head, I'm like, yeah, Just Cruise basically going up to people being like, hey, will you sell this cheaper? Because that's usually what I do. I'll be like, yo, Cruise, go ask him if they'll do it for this. And then he goes for me, right? Because he's better at negotiating. I don't know, man. I feel bad going up to certain people being like, yo, I know you like this price, but what about this price? So I can't wait.
Well,
but yeah, man.
But I mean, isn't that kind of expected though when you go to these cons that you're expected to kind of haggle and do deals?
It doesn't hurt to ask either,
Some
right?
do, some don't.
Yeah. I mean, the worst they can say is no, right?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Desired Comics may be a Toronto con. Okay. Yeah, you let me know, dude. You let me know. Menjik gonna to welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, please. A lot of you, Russians or whatever, just come, bring them all. Just make sure you hit the thumbs up, please. Appreciate
He can't. He's on timeout, but yeah, good looking out though.
But thank you for supporting.
That shit really sounded like fucking Yondu there for a minute.
Yeah, Vancouver does have a few good stores. RP's gonna also be there. I'll see you Saturday. Yeah, so Saturday. I think we all got to get together too. Everybody's got to get together afterwards. So, man, I'll fly to Toronto. But yo, dude, yes, there we go. Yes. Okay.
My regret though is because I lived in Toronto for 4 years, but I wasn't collecting comics.
Toronto.
No, but see, the thing is, I know Toronto probably has a lot more shops than Montreal. So I kind of wish I was in the hobby when I was living in Toronto, because I feel like probably could have had more shops to. But I also know there's going to be a lot more people looking in those bins. But still, it would have been nice if I was collecting back then.
Yo, if anybody's coming from the U.S. or anywhere, please hit me up. Let me know ahead of time, man. I would love to meet people, at lunch, after the show, whatever the case. I've got the weekend off. I would love to meet people. I would love to hang out. So yeah, let's definitely get together, man. I'll be at Toronto. Yes. Okay, good, Sam. But I've never been to a con, but maybe if I come up with Hyper and Black.
That's crazy. Yeah, well, when Pacino told me that he's never been to a con, I was surprised. So yeah, we'll definitely have to hit up a con, either here or in Ontario. We'll definitely have to do that up for sure.
Yeah, Ozzy will be there. Yeah. See, that's the thing though, man. I always say oh, Toronto's my backyard and this and that. It isn't. Plus, I hate Toronto. I hate going there. It's just a hassle. It is just
okay. Let's just get something clear, because we have several Canadian. We have a Canadian contingent in the crowd. Do you hate Toronto for the city or the people, or is it a mix of both?
No, it's just the city. I don't like the traffic, the whole I got to dedicate basically an hour and a half just to get there, an hour and a half just to come back. Just the whole.
So it's just the commuting that really
going.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
That's it. I've got nothing against the people. I've got nothing. It's too damn busy. It's fucking 4 million people, and
I hear you. Yeah.
I always take the GO train, always. Just because I don't want to drive. It takes an hour and a half basically in a car, or an hour and a half in the train. In the train, at least I can just close my eyes and I don't got to worry about anybody, right?
Because the thing is, I took when I rented an Airbnb in downtown Toronto, I basically drove there, but I left my car in the driveway. I just took the streetcar wherever I had to go in Toronto, because driving around Toronto, it's a pain in the ass in downtown.
Yeah, RP, yes, I will be there. Ozzy will be there. Me and Ozzy are actually selling at the show. I don't know if Ozzy was telling people or not, but yeah, we're selling at the show. It's going to be our first show that we are selling. But yeah, we will be there. So make sure you come see us. Definitely hang out. Stop pumping up Toronto, dude. Sorry, dude. I'm not dumping. Right? I think you meant dumping. I'm not dumping.
Did you say dumping or pumping? Because Newbie was not pumping up Toronto at all.
Yeah, I think you meant dumping. I'm not hating on it. I just, me personally, I've had bad experiences, and that's it. That's all. Just that's my 2 cents. That's it. I love Toronto. Don't listen to Newbie. See, yeah, but obviously, you know, like Ozzy lives in Toronto. You know, Just Cruise lives outside of it in the GTA. So it is what it is.
Hey, look, I love Toronto for the very fact that my only Stanley signed book I got from a BMV shop, and people that live in Toronto know what BMV is.
Yeah. RP, this is probably everyone's experience, but find it easier to haggle on the smaller shows in Toronto. Yeah, I honestly do think that the Toronto show is like the prices are going to be big. So we'll see. That Mississauga show, that's a good show, you know, well priced and things like that. The Toronto show, honestly, I'm hoping I find a Tales of Suspense 39.
So this could be the show that you finally get that grill.
That could be. We could be. So it's kind of where I'm at with that, but
go.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know, man. We'll see how well I do when I sell at the Mississauga show. So,
gents, sell a lot.
Well, we'll see. I got a lot of slabs that I want to get out. I think I'm going to start opening up to selling my slabs in the U.S. So if anybody's looking for certain slabs, I think I'm going to start opening it up. I talked to the postal office and I got quotes to send stuff. So yeah, I figured why not. Been selling since 2011. I got 100% on my eBay. So I think I'm capable of, you know, sending books to the U.S. So we'll see.
Oh, Just Cruise. I know Just Cruise. Trust me. My apartment, I used to be very close to a Popeyes, so yeah, I'm fully aware of
the obligatory Popeyes.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
So yeah, guys, I definitely want to thank the chat. You know, we had like 68 people in here throughout the whole time, so I do appreciate everybody tuning in. I miss BC, so if you're watching BC, we missed you on the show. I want to thank everybody. Before I go, just want to let everybody know, and a reminder, we will be back on Sunday, 9:35 p.m. Eastern time for Newbieverse episode 81, new comic book day, comic news and comic spec, and then back at it next Tuesday. Don't forget, there is a 3,000 subscriber giveaway going on right now, so make sure you let the milkman, you let the mailman, you let the lady at Sobeys, whatever the case may be, Longos, Fortinos, whatever. Let them know, hey, you following Newbie? Maybe you should. But that's it from me. Fellas, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Let the people know where they can find you and what's going on in the YouTube world with the Comic Kingpins.
Face, you want to take this one?
You can find us every sure. You can find us every Monday over on the Comic Kingpins channel at 7 p.m. Eastern. You know, with previously on. And actually, as of this Saturday, I believe you'll be able to find us on Saturdays too. We're going to be dropping a new show that covers some FOC books called Rolly Fox. So, you know,
and
cool stuff.
I just want to add to Faces, just before I forget, because I realized this is probably going to be the last show before. This is a live show we're going to do before our next Monday show, but stay tuned also for next week's episode of Comic Kingpins, because I potentially would be, hopefully if things work out the way it should this Saturday, I potentially could land a Grail. So
whoa.
I won't say what it is. You'll find out. Like I said,
Kratz 1 in 25.
Is there even a 1 in 25 for that?
I don't know. Yeah. I keep telling people there's a 1 in 25. I don't know if it is. I don't know.
It's just a bit of a hook for people to tune in, even if they weren't planning to, but I'm sure they are. But yeah, if all goes well, fingers crossed, this Saturday, there will be a Grail shown on Monday.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to it. So, guys,
and it's not a Popeyes menu, right?
Yeah, if not a Popeyes menu. Just want to leave you with one bit of advice. If it'll play. Oh.
Well, that killed it.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
certified. All right. Thanks for the show, everybody. We will see you Sunday, 9:35 p.m. Eastern time. Don't forget Comic Kingpins this Saturday, then Monday. That's the show. Happy new comic book day. I don't think there's any Star Wars, Boba Fett, or anything like that. So I don't know what you guys are going to be doing.
Done for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So now we're just waiting for Moon Knight. But
I'll probably watch The Peacemaker. I haven't seen that in.
Yeah, that too. That too. But happy new comic book day. Shop safely. Leave at least one book for the next guy or lady. Come on, guys. But keep searching because those books are out there. Later.